Something I noticed when I first arrived in Sussex was the names of some of the villages and towns. Why so many of them have ING in their names? It's like walking and swimming come from the verbs walk and swim. But what about these place names? Worthing, Ferring, Beeding? How do you worth, fare, or bead? Very mysterious, but there is an explanation. I am a Yank in Sussex. As a man fascinated by maps, one of my first discoveries upon arriving in Sussex to be with my wife was the curiously large number of towns and villages whose names ended in ING. For instance, there's a clustering of them right along the English Channel. Here we have Worthing, Lancing, Goring, and Ferring. You can see the concentration of this set right on the shore of the Channel within just a few miles of each other. In the beginning, I didn't do much beyond noting this peculiarity in my mind. But after thinking further about this recently and noting a few more in the same area, I began to wonder just how prevalent this ING syllable was in Sussex, and perhaps even further afield in England itself. What I found surprised me. There's a lot of them. First of all, what does this ING signify in those names? Going back to the roots of English, the Anglo-Saxon languages, they used this syllable to mean the family or people or followers of whatever it was. For example, the name of the town of Worthing comes most likely from the name of an Anglo-Saxon goddess Wyrd, also known in Norse mythology as Urður. The earliest documentation of the name, in 960 AD, has it recorded as Wirtingas. With the ending ing, this seems to have indicated that the settlement was at one time known for its devotion to that Norse or Anglo-Saxon goddess Wyrd, though of course the town would by the 900s have long been Christian. So Worthing seems to signify the people or the followers of Wyrd. Other towns and villages with the ing suffix seem to have their names from the original settlers, such as Washington, which means town of the people of Wassa, or Hastings, which is derived from the Old English tribal name Hastingas, meaning the constituency or followers of Hesta. But ing in a place name doesn't always have the connotation of the family, people, or followers of. For example, the name of the village of Ringmer in East Sussex originates from Ringamira, meaning pool or circular pool. So it's not a ing name in the sense I'm looking at. And there are two places in Sussex having Kingston in their names, obviously referring to king, the word for monarch. Of course, this isn't uncommon in England. In my research for this video, I found that there are about 26 Kingstons in England. But, disregarding Kingstons for the sake of the process, upon researching ing place names in Sussex, I was intrigued to find that in West Sussex, 19% of them have that syllable in them. And in East Sussex, it was 16%. Here's a quick rundown of some of them. Continuing from the first four I mentioned earlier, we have Angmering, Climping, Patching, Steyning, Upper Beeding, Lower Beeding, Ditchling, Wartling, Cockmarling, and Guestling. Note that not all of these are towns and villages per se, but they can be found on the map as places. From here we have names that don't end in ing, but have it as part of their name, such as these two that end in s, Hastings and Poynings. And a bunch of them that end in ton, meaning town or defined place. These include Washington, Storrington and Sullington, West Chiltington, East Chiltington, Ashington, Rushington, Atherington, West Lavington, Tillington, and Watlingen. Finally, I'll list a few that end in other syllables. Chiddingly, Ardingly, Etchingham, Billingshurst, and Itchingfield. Beyond Sussex, ING place names vary greatly in density throughout England. As I said earlier, West Sussex has the highest density with 19%, and coming in dead last is Cornwall with only 2%. All in all, out of the 18,767 place names on my list, 1,507 or 8% have the syllable ING in them somewhere. Here's a heat map, as it were, of the ING density. As you can see, the density does tend to correspond somewhat to the early settlement of Anglo-Saxon peoples from about 400 to 500 AD. That settlement area eventually expanded to most of the rest of England, but the earliest settlement areas where the larger percentage of them are found. This video is partly inspired by a YouTube put out by Jay and Mark, also known as the Map Men, entitled Why Are British Place Names So Hard to Pronounce? A link is above and in the description. In that video, they give us a map of the origin of British place names, which I've modified a bit for my purposes. As you can see, Anglo-Saxon is the source of a large number of the place names in England, but there's a large portion coming from Old Norse because of the time the Danes held part of the country from around 867 to 954 AD. The area of Danish conquest, the Danelaw, resulted in changes to place names. But Old Norse and Anglo-Saxon were branches of Proto-Germanic, so shared similarities in vocabulary, with the suffix ing being common to both. I do recommend that Map Men video, by the way, as it's very informative while being entertaining as well. So there we are with the ING place names of Sussex and by extension all of England as well. This has been a production of ING in Sussex. If you've enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe or follow. Thanks for watching, and may you have a very nice day.